is the outlet for my esteemed co-host, Chris Camello. What up, Chris?
Feels good to be back. Long 2-week break. I was out of town. I was also not well. It's good to see you back on the scene too, Chaez. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
You know, it's like that, on CNN where you have like the guy on site on scene, and then it takes him like 2 or 3 seconds with a delay, like, hey, Bob. That's what we're working with today, just a little bit. So, you guys, it's good to be back. It's so good to be back. We appreciate you guys tapping in with the outlet forum. We got a bunch to get into, especially with all that's happened over the course of the last few weeks. We're talking basketball. We're talking football. We're even talking a little bit of baseball even. And Denzel giving us some recent comments that we definitely have a few opinions on in today's show. But we got to get to it first, Chris. The king of LA is not LeBron anymore. It is Luka Doncic, and he has signed a 3-year extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's staying home where he was traded to. Obviously, he's from Slovenia. He's in EuroBasket, and there was a close call, actually. We're going to get into that as well because Luka Doncic almost had a very serious injury at EuroBasket, but we'll get into all of that. Chris, I want to give you the floor first here. Tell us what you think not only of this close call at EuroBasket, but what does it mean for the Lakers? Should they be concerned now that he signed a 3-year deal and he's staying in LA for the foreseeable future and probably is going to be the first $400 million player in the league?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so definitely EuroBasket. He's looked call. He's looked no issues with him right now as far as how he looks on the court. He was definitely, that was a scary moment. Anytime a player lands on you, Chaez, as Laker fans, we're all reminded of the Andrew Bynum situation. Remember, Kobe landed on him, Lamar Odom landed on him, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, TL, sprained knee, hyperextend, that stuff. You see it in football. Sometimes guys get rolled into. It is not an uncommon thing to happen. All it takes one bad move, one bounce, and all of a sudden you're down. And yeah, here it is right here. Yeah. So I mean, it was bad to see Luka like that, but to return that game. So I mean, it's good to see him bounce back. It was good to see him play the other night. He looked fantastic. I mean, he is doing what we thought he could. Conditioning is not for show, that he could still be Luka Doncic even in a lighter frame. And I think the one of the things that I push back on is one of the things that makes Luka Doncic that his body type, right? It's bigger, it's thicker, guys could bounce off of him and everything like that. So if he's now thinner, yeah, he'll have more endurance. He's lighter. He's able to maybe avoid injury a little bit more. But how is that going to be as far as how guys defend him? But he has shown so far through these first couple of games, these guys, at least over in Europe, which is still creme de la creme. It may not be the NBA, but you still got some really good ballers over there in Europe, and they're showing so far that they cannot stick them. So it's good to see Luka wasn't hurt, and it's even better to see him going out there and dominating EuroBasket for the first couple of games.
Yeah, and he's actually given them work out there in Slovenia. Or where are they playing exactly, Chris? Because where is EuroBasket taking place at?
Yeah,
he's out there.
I was going to say it might be Germany, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll look it up for you right now. Yeah.
Luka's doing his thing. I mean, the injury was a close call, but he gave him 28 points the night after, or 2 nights after, and he's looking good. I don't think the Lakers should be that concerned with it. I think they really need to be concerned more so with guys just being ready for camp and coming in, and Rob Pelinka really being able to do whatever he can to get that back end of the roster up. That's really what they need to be worrying about more so than Luka. But I don't think they should be that concerned because what are you going to do? It's not like you can tell him to not play for his home country in EuroBasket. Giannis is
No,
playing, Jokic is playing, Luka's playing. I mean, this tournament is already starting to pick up some good momentum, especially with Giannis having a good game yesterday as well. So I'm looking
agrees.
forward to
Yeah.
seeing how it works. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
And I just wanted to go back, Chaz, because when we took the break, Luka had just signed the extension. He had the press conference, and what was so telling was how many of his teammates showed up to his press conference. And I don't want to get into who was there, who wasn't there, and everything like that. Not everybody was there. Of course, everyone's going to talk about LeBron James, but Austin Reeves, I don't believe, was there. Jared Vanderbilt was not there. But a lot of the new guys, a lot of the new signings, and some of the incumbent Lakers made the trek out to LA, whether or not they were just out here for, vacation or working out or whatever. I just wanted to point that out. But it also goes to show you how much respect and credibility he already has built in with the organization. When you have that kind of turnout. And the fact of the matter is, too, and I know everyone has been disappointed at times with Rob Pelinka, myself included, but they've addressed the needs, right? DeAndre Ayton is going to be a solid signing. Marcus Smart is a solid signing. Jake LaRavia, I'm a little on the fence with that, but if you could put him alongside these other great players like Luka, like Austin Reeves, like LeBron James, who knows? Maybe he could continue to unlock whatever he found in Memphis last year and then eventually with the Sacramento Kings. And here's the best part about the Lakers situation. You have your star locked in for the foreseeable future, and you have unbelievable financial flexibility for the upcoming for the upcoming seasons as well. Do you know how many impending free agents and potential free agents they'll have going into the summer of 2026? Really, it's going to be Luka and Jared Vanderbilt. Those are the only two guys, I think, and maybe Dalton Connect, that are going to be actually locked in for the 26-27 season. So you will have cap space. You could, go out and get yourself maybe another star player. You can go out and fill in the gaps of this roster, maybe even re-sign Austin Reeves to a longer-term deal. So that is the great thing about the Lakers right now is flexibility. You could apply that this season coming up, maybe toward the trade deadline, or you could apply it next summer and either decide to bring back some of the key role players or go into a different direction altogether. So they're in a really good spot right now. You have a star for the future who's locked in, and you have a flexibility moving forward as well.
I'm good with it, man. I'm good with where the Lakers are at and what they've set themselves up to be with or without LeBron James. Um, I'm of the belief that they need LeBron James as long as he's still playing at an all NBA level. You want to keep paying him 50, 51, 52, 55, whatever the number is to keep him around. I don't believe that the Lakers are going to be a better team without him. So I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to keep saying it, but I like the setup with having the flexibility for Luka Doncic with the fact that he is now the king in LA pretty much in terms of what's going to be revolving around him, the moves, the future picks, the lack of picking up salary that's going to extend out past a certain time. I love the fact that the Lakers are operating more like a contemporary franchise than they were maybe a couple years ago or even 10 years ago before that as well. How Linda Rambis is still having director of special projects even under this new ownership is beyond me, but it just is what it is within the Lakers organization since Jeannie Buss is still going to be around. But at the end
I
of the
wanted
day,
to ask you about that. Go ahead, finish your point, but I have a question for you on that before we move on, if
but
that's okay
but
with
at
you.
the end of the day, I just like where they're at and everything that you bring up. Yes, it was a close call in EuroBasket. Nothing you can do about that. As long as he doesn't get seriously injured, you just kind of hold your breath because there's other stars that are playing as well. But at the end of the day, the stars are aligning for the Lakers, and there are some other franchises that got better as well. But I'm not down on them like I am on other teams. Do I think other teams got better as well? Yes, but I do think that they're right there, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. So it's going to be a really interesting season.
Yeah, so speaking of Jeannie being there for the foreseeable future, so Wick Grossbeck, who is the now former owner of the Boston Celtics, sold the Celtics, I believe, for $6 billion, $6.4 billion. And there was a similar situation where he was going to stay on with the new ownership for a number of years. And now, after the sale has been completed to the new ownership group, it is a Boston native, I believe. He is now no longer going to be affiliated in an official capacity with the Celtics. And now everyone's thinking, well, if that happened to Grossbeck, could that potentially happen with Jeannie Buss? Yes, we all know, it's in writing and Jeannie's going to be there. She already has a relationship with Mark Walter, and maybe that factors into it. Maybe there's more credibility to that than maybe it was with Grossbeck and this new owner with the Celtics. I just wanted to get your take. Is there a possibility that Jeannie is not there for the full 5 years with the team as the official governor, and it's actually less time or potentially no time at all, assuming that Mark Walter takes over the team, this upcoming summer?
I think she's more likely to stay in the organization because she didn't purchase the organization like Wick did. Wick had a financial incentive to sell the Celtics and remove himself as well. The agreement with the Lakers is a little bit different because the guy who is going to own the majority of the Lakers was already a minority owner who had that relationship, who is agreeing, and in the course of the negotiation, probably for the sale of the team, decided to allow her to stay on for a certain amount of time. The difference here, as reported by Ramona Shelburne when it happened, I'm going to give her credit over and over because she's the one that has stood on this, was that it is written in the deal, which still has yet to be approved by the Board of Governors, but it's supposedly written. So we'll see how that turns out. I think it's more than likely she stays on, but I could see by year 2, year 3, if anything happens, anything can happen to where she may have to step down, or somebody who spends $10 billion on a franchise wants to control it the way that they want to. But I think she's more so going to be a face and operating in the background, if anything. So that's how I see it. But enough about the Lakers, Chris. We've talked enough about Luka. It's not even basketball season. The season that's coming up right now is football season, and it's Rams house time because Matthew Stafford has finally, and well played by the Rams. Matthew Stafford finally has practiced 2 days in a row, yesterday and today, and he was supposed to work out last Saturday. They wouldn't confirm if he worked out or not. Sunday he was off. He's been going back and forth, having this back issue, this disc issue, nerve issue really is what it's coming down to because of what is happening to his back. Do you think that Matthew Stafford is going to stay healthy, especially with these first 4 games? Is he going to play in week 1? What do you make of just this whole situation with Matthew Stafford? Even though he is finally practicing now, it's been a lot leading up to this point, and I don't know, there's a lot more question marks than answers at this point, is what I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, Stafford is, you came in day 1 of training camp. It was, he's already got a bad back. 37 years old, a guy that's his time, especially with the Rams over the last few seasons, everyone's been watching him closely because he's been hurt a lot. And you factor in the hits, you factor in his injury history, you factor in his age, all these things. And it's kind of like, you really have to handle him with kid gloves because it's more important for you to have him, if you're the Rams, to have him ready for the regular season. It is good to see him out there. He practices 2 days in a row. He's clearly trying to ramp himself up and just see if his body can take the pounding. But at the same point in time, what good is practicing, Chaez, if you actually don't get any game reps? That's the thing. Is he conditioning thing? What is the status right now? That is the question I have. If he gets hit hard by a pretty good Texans defense, by the way, in week 1, where does that put him? So you're in this weird spot where you want him to be available, but at the same point in time, you need him to get at least some practices in just so he can get some reps, and that way he's not super rusty in week 1. On the other hand, you're also trying to keep Garoppolo and Stetson Bennett sharp and ready to go just in case you have to tab one of them in play against the Texans. No doubt in my mind, barring a major setback over the next 2 weeks, I don't think Matthew Stafford or the Rams have really anything to worry. I think he's just getting him ready to go. Is it a turn? Sure. It's a back. who's 37 years old. Absolutely, there's going to be concern, but to believe that he's been ready and ramped up for that September 7th game.
You're starting to go in and out there, brother, but we got you back. We got you back. I really hope that he is, because the Rams can go to the Super Bowl and make it to the NFC Championship game and do all of these different things if Stafford is healthy, if he's playing the majority of games rather than not playing and not being out there. So I'm worried about the game being a physical contact sport. Like, the Houston Texans have a pass rush. The Titans have a pass rush. The Eagles, Jalen Carter, they have a pass rush. So he's going to get hit at some point, and is that going to knock him out? It's like just walking on ice for the entire season, especially knowing that the Rams don't have a viable backup that's going to be able to come in and really do. Like, as much as Jimmy Garoppolo has been to a Super Bowl before, he's clearly a backup by now because he's not a player like Matthew Stafford. So it's like walking on ice all year long. And personally, as a Rams season ticket holder, I'm going to be going to every game just sitting on pins and needles, waiting to see if he comes through every single game, because otherwise, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, all these different guys, the Rams are stacked. They should be a team that's there at the end. But like any other team, injuries will tell the story at the end of the day. So when it comes down to it, go ahead.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah. No, for sure. And obviously, you got Devontae Adams there now, Puka Nacua, Ferguson, right, is the new tight end. You're hoping, their running back situation is going to be, good to go. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, and they've got the makings of a very good NFC team. Obviously, everyone's going to be looking at the Eagles. Everyone's going to be looking at the Lions. Can Washington duplicate what they did last year? Are the Bears on the rise? So, I mean, there are some teams to really watch out for, both in their division and beyond. Like, we'll see what the Seahawks do this year, what the Cardinals can do. But I think that NFC, to me, is actually pretty wide open. And if the Rams continue to take that step forward, we, some really good young pieces on that defense, some really good offensive pieces as well. It's going to be about health, but also productivity from the guys that you brought in. That second receiver last couple of years, Cooper Kupp, it was not very healthy, not as effective as we saw in previous years. Devontae Adams, and you're hoping he can kind of get himself track after kind of a lackluster years in Vegas and with the Jets and everything like that. So now he's in a situation back. You've got a good offensive system in place, and hopefully that's what it will be to maximize whatever Devontae Adams has left in the tank. So I think he's going to be a major key for them as well this season. So I'm really interested to see what the Rams look like. And by the way, going 2-0 in preseason, Rams have usually made it a tradition to get their asses kicked in preseason, usually, losing 36-10 or something. So it's good to see them win a couple of games, even if they don't matter in the long run,
Stetson Bennett, man. Stetson Bennett has played great. Let me ask you this. Do you think Stetson, if Stafford does get hurt, do you go to Garoppolo or Stetson Bennett?
I think Jimmy was solid for them when he took that start last year. So I think Jimmy would be the safer pick. Stetson, it's good to see him producing and going in the right direction because, he won those he won 2 national championships to Georgia, right? And obviously Georgia was such a great system and they were such a complete team that I don't think he ever really got the credit that he got due. And sometimes that happens. Matt Leinart was an outstanding college quarterback and he did not transition to the pros very well. Same with Vince Young. But with Stetson Bennett, he came in and I was surprised he got picked as low as he did. And I was like, all right, well, clearly the field injury, whatever, but it's good to see him in these games get better and get more confident, and knowing that this guy for now is a solid third ringer that's going to continue to get the reps in and hopefully can be productive, but I don't think he's part of the long-term plan yet. And I wouldn't start him yet in a real NFL game unless, of course, Garoppolo is also hurt. I think Jimmy's the way to go right now, to me.
Yeah, if Stafford gets hurt, but hopefully, pray to God he doesn't. Moving on to another franchise who had their training camp in Southern California, Oxnard being direct. What do you make of the standoff? Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones. Is this Parsons' last year in Dallas? Because at this point, Jerry Jones isn't even talking to his representation, Micah Parsons' representation. So even if Parsons did want to negotiate and take whatever deal that supposedly Jerry Jones has said that he negotiated in good faith in a closed-door meeting with Micah Parsons that did not include his agent or his representation. I mean, even if Micah Parsons gets his money, there's got to be some kind of reputation damage to Jerry Jones at this point, because this is year after year that he's doing this, and it's flagrantly just egregious that he's not talking to the agent or Micah Parsons himself. So even if there could be a deal to be done, there can't be one because you can't negotiate or speak. What do you make of this whole situation? And do you ultimately think that it's Micah's last year in Dallas? Because it sounds like if there's no deal, he's going to play this year and then request a trade again, obviously.
Oh, man. Yeah, this has gotten ugly. And, obviously there's a few different situations right now, right? There's Trey Hendrickson with the Cincinnati Bengals. You got Terry McLaurin with the Washington Commanders. They're holding out. They're trying to get, everyone's trying to get their money. This is not an uncommon thing. I can go back 15 years with stuff like this. Remember Darrelle Revis with the New York Jets didn't show up, and that they were talking about that. I remember on Hard Knocks. So here's the thing. Micah wants to get taken care of. He has been a pillar of this Cowboys team for a long time. You could say, well, they haven't won with him there, but at the same point in time, you take him off this team, would this defense take a major step back? In my opinion, it would. So he's trying to get taken care of. He's trying to get his future taken care of. And right now, Jerry, as he did with Dak, as he did with CeeDee Lamb, as he's done with others, Zeke Elliott and Zach Martin going back, 5-6 years ago, this has become a thing. I mean, you heard it during the Netflix series, Cowboys 24/7, 365. We wanted to have a soap opera going on here. So Jerry's getting exactly what he wants. What are they talking about on First Take every day now for the last couple of weeks? What's the first topic? Parsons and Jerry Jones. Is Parsons going to get traded? Is he going to get the new deal? And right now, there are teams throwing out offers. The Packers offered 2 first-rounders or a first and a second to get Micah Parsons. So teams are willing to take him up, but I don't even think Parsons wants that, because if a team trades for him, there are no guarantees that they're going to offer him an extension. That's what Terry McLaurin is going through right now with Washington. Teams are willing to trade for you, but they don't want to be signed on with you beyond this season. They want to see what you do. So this is what I think Jerry wants. He wants Parsons to know we're the only game in town that's even willing to offer you an extension. Nobody else right now. They may trade for you, but there's no guarantees that A, you're going to get an extension, and B, get the extension that you want. So this is going to get very interesting. I don't think the ship has sailed yet. We'll know a lot more, Chaz, next week. I think by next week, I think Monday. If you don't hear something from Monday, then we will find out what happens. But at the end of the day, man, we always see at the last minute, the 11th hour, a deal comes through. We see it in politics. We see it in business. We see it in sports.
For some reason, I feel like this is different. I don't think a deal is going to get done. I think he's just going to play this year, and then at that point, it's going to be just clear, hey, I need to be traded. Because it's gotten disrespectful at this point, and Michael Parsons as a player could dig in, even though they could tag him and then tag him again even after he plays this year. In terms of franchise tagging him, where he gets over a certain amount, I think the tag would be $30 million for him next year, which is still a good amount of change, but it's no long-term security like most players want. All players want, really. I just don't see it playing out to where it's going to be all fun and games just because you gave me the contract that I know I already deserved, but you had to badmouth me and talk belittling to me and go back and forth in the media, and got your daughters talking shit now, saying that everybody goes through this. Like, it's just gotten to the point where it's just too much. So in my opinion, I probably wouldn't want to play in Dallas anymore if I was Micah Parsons, but at the end of the day, wherever I can get my bread and the most cheese, that's where I want to be. So that should be his focus, and I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah. And you're right. It very well could be different. It could be one of those deals where it's just it's beyond reproach at this point, and the disrespect has settled in. And it's like, at this point, I got to go where I'm wanted. But like I said, we've seen this before from other organizations, including Dallas, and it always feels like a deal gets done. I thought Brandon Ayuk was gone from San Francisco, to be quite honest. And then all of a sudden, John Lynch comes in, him and Trent Williams at the 11th hour, and they get a deal done. A lot of good it did them. It was a horrendous year got hurt. Trent Williams was dealing with stuff so anything could happen. I think if you were to ask me right now, who's more likely to get dealt in the next week, Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson, I would say Bengals organization is cheap and they're miserly. And I think they feel like he's expendable. But that's really going to sink their defense if that happens. If the Cowboys end up losing Parsons, it will sink their defense. But I don't know how good of a team the Cowboys are, even with Micah Parsons. Like, are they a 9-8 team that maybe gets into the playoffs, depending on the division? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how good the Cowboys are going to be this year. Plus, first-year head coach Schottenheimer.
I think 9 or 10 wins.
It doesn't exactly have a great.
You're spot on.
Yeah. So there you go. So, I mean, I just don't know. It's not a bad season. Yeah. And it really, I mean, that division is going to be a bloodbath, though. And you could only hope, if you're the Cowboys, that everybody beats each other up, that the Eagles take a step back, that, the Commanders, fall short. There's a sophomore slump with Jaden Daniels. You could only hope all of that, and maybe that keeps the door open for you. Maybe not for the division win, but for second place in the division where you keep the wild card spot. So we'll see. But this is typical Jerry Jones nonsense. We've been seeing this for many years, for decades even. So, but if I'm Dallas, I'm the best trade available. That way you have your backup plan ready to go, and you put Parsons in a position where he could be happy somewhere else and do right by him. But I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out ultimately in Big D. Chris, there's been a lot that's being said in today's media. You and I got podcasts. There's so many other shows. You can get opinions from almost anybody or whoever it is you like these days. And Denzel Washington had a lot to say in, I believe it was like a promo run for the new movie that he has coming out with Spike Lee, Highest to Lowest. Can't wait to see it. Mm-hmm. Not going to theaters, waiting for the stream to drop in a few weeks. That's just me personally. But if you like Denzel, definitely get out there and take a look at the movie. But he had a lot to say, and I'm going to play the clip that he had. And this is just one of many clips, but I'll play one, and you tell me what you think about what he had to say about people in the media and people in general in today's day and age. Take a look.
Everybody's got an opinion. We live in a world of opinionaires. You know, that's what I call them, opinionaires. They're all the shows, a bunch of guys, and a couple of them that have played, but most of them who have an opinion about what something should be when they haven't done it. Those who can't talk about those who can. Those who have know what they're talking about. Those who haven't don't. Period. Too much talking. Too much talking. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody's sitting around getting fat, you know, thinking they know how to do it. Just because you can sit behind a desk and chit-chat doesn't mean you can do a damn thing.
Those are bars.
Come get up here with me. Let's find out. Come get in the gym with me. Let's find out.
I mean,
I don't know you.
We saw you.
But, you know, I can throw my hands. I can do it. I can sure do it.
I
can do it for real. I don't talk about it.
Well, let me leave
I'm
you
not
on
some
this.
skinny kid, you know, who never played a day in his life, and now he can get back at everybody because he got a mic in his face and show. People need to shut up. People need to shut up. Learn how to do something. Be actually good at something. Try that.
Sports Illustrated with a hell of an interview.
Wow.
Chris, I give you the floor.
First of all, I can't hate Denzel on anything. One of my all-time favorite actors. You know me, man. I'm a movie buff. I have done countless tributes to deceased actors and entertainers through the years and whatnot. The only thing I love more than sports is good movies and good TV shows and everything like that. And Denzel is definitely on my top 5 all time, up there with the Al Pacinos, the Joe Pescis, the Robert De Niro's, the Tom Hanks. You know, one of my all-time favorites. Training Day, still one of my favorite Denzel roles. So to me, even if he's talking to me directly, Chris Camello, got no problems with it altogether, because here's the truth. He's correct. And especially now in this digital age of social media, of podcasters, of YouTubers, of influencers, whatever the fuck you want to call it, he is absolutely correct. People think now, because we got a little setup here, that we know exactly what the hell we're talking about. Listen, Chaez and I are not ex-pro athletes. I could speak for myself. I got cut twice from the high school basketball team in 9th and 10th. You know, I don't know shit about actually being a professional athlete.
I did not go on.
You played in high school. You didn't play in college.
Or NBA career, but I did play in high school. So.
Okay, so Chaez has got more athletic experience than me, which I figured. I was like, Chaez probably played in high school, but my point is, like, we're not pro athletes or anything like that. But Chaez, correct. You know, I don't doubt that he had more athleticism.
The game.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Chaez probably had more athleticism than me, because I didn't have much at all. You know, I was a short kid, skinny and everything. I loved to play, but you know, you start realizing in high school, like, some of these guys are just on a different level than me. And it didn't really seem to matter, what scenario it was. I wasn't that good. The fact of the matter is, this has been going on, though, for a long time. You have journalists, you have pundits, you have analysts, you have people who, you know, have never played the game, but are involved in the game. You have the news gatherers, you have the journalists, the reporters, the Adam Schefters of the world, the Jeff Passons of the world, Adrian Wojnarowski, once upon a time, Shams Charania. Are these guys great athletes? No. But they know the game, being around the game, making it their life's work, connected with the players, connected with, the coaches and the organizations. But those guys were actually in the trenches. Now, Chaez, specifically over the last 5, 6, 7 years, you're seeing people like us who are just watching the games on TV or going to a game and basically spouting out their opinions on a platform. And now, just because, these guys get thousands of followers, in some cases millions of followers, they think they know the game of basketball, the game of baseball, the game of football, UFC, whatever the case is, right? And Denzel is right on that. For you and I, this is basically a secondary thing, right? We are not being paid for this. We do this because we love sports. We love talking sports. We love doing breakdowns and everything like that. I will only say this. I have never tried to elevate myself at the expense of someone else. Well, that is where I think the difference is with me and you than some of these other people that are out there. I think there are a lot of people out there trying to break others down in order to elevate themselves up. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about the podcasters and the influencers. But hey, there's a market for that. So I'm going to turn it over to you. But I just think my thing has always just been more on the analytical side, breakdown. What can I provide that I'm seeing that maybe somebody else doesn't see? And vice versa, by the way. So he's not wrong on anything he said, but that is also the state of media in 2025.
Yeah, I think ultimately it just comes down to the fact that, and great, yeah, Denzel did bring Training Day vibes in that clip. I don't want to personalize it, but I like the point that he was making because it's the people that take what people do on the court or on the field of play and personalize it and demeans somebody's character or who they are as a person because of how they played in the game. He's talking to those people. So if you think he was talking to you, then he was talking to you. But if you didn't take it the way that you probably should have, then he probably wasn't. So I know he wasn't talking to me because I don't talk to nobody. I don't talk about anybody as if I've done it. I do have my opinions on what I see or, whatever the case may be, but I'm never going to question the man's character in terms of based on how they play and think I know a person or what they're going to do in any given situation. He's talking to those people that really get on there and really start to talk about people's personal lives and stuff that has nothing to do with the game as if they know what it takes day in and day out to even be as great as they are, to even be on TV and recognized, to be even talked about on any platform by people like you and me. So I loved it. I had no problem with it whatsoever. And the people that are talking shit, the shit talkers, not the people that are analyzing and giving good, solid, objective opinions, the shit talkers is the ones that he's talking to.
Yeah.
And I had no problem with it whatsoever. And we need more people to call out other shit talkers like that, like objective people that go on Shit Talkers podcast, call them out for that shit that we always see over and over, that we get 30-second to a minute clips on just so that way they could go viral, get retweets and stuff like that. I've never been down with that. I'm never one to just be able to say, I'm never going to just say some shit that I don't believe just so that way I can get some clicks and likes. I would rather never make money off of somebody listening to me than for me to say some fake shit and have a bunch of people follow me just to hear me say some more fake shit. So that's just what it is, and my personal opinion about what he said and the state of, I guess, today's media, like we were saying.
Yeah, and Paco's asking a question. Do you think people reset their pods and platforms after Denzel comments? And I'm just going to say this honestly, Paco, hell to the freaking no, man. Because people are benefiting off of it. And if they're not benefiting off of it, they're still going to say, F it, I'm entitled to my opinion. There's an old saying, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. You know what I mean? And sometimes they stink too. Yeah, but
sometimes.
People should. What? Yeah, no, sometimes. Yeah, so I mean, look,
all the time.
People should exactly. People should be a little bit more conscientious of it. And I agree with you, Chaez, getting personal when you start attacking someone's character. And that's where I really have an issue with it. You want the confines of the four lines that people play in, or the diamond or the field or whatever. That's fine. You know what I mean? Hey, so-and-so had a shitty game tonight. The Dodgers played like shit tonight. They sleptwalked through the game. Ohtani did not pitch well, didn't execute. They threw to the wrong bases. Those are things. If I talk shit about the Dodgers, I can at least back it up with bad play. If we talk shit about the Lakers, back it up with facts about why they played the way they did and everything like that. We can do that, right? But when you start saying, that this guy is a garbage human being and this and that, because we do see those comments a lot. Chaez and I are on X a lot, on Instagram, and everyone thinks that, they because they've got the security behind a screen, either a computer or a cell phone, that they could just, when attacking someone's character. That I am not cool with. And I've never been cool with all of that. Be within the lines. You know what I mean? And by the way, what Denzel did is not new. Charles Barkley's been calling out guys like Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith for years. You know what I mean? Kenny Smith has done that. Shaq has done that. This is what these guys do. And it's like, how the hell are you going to tell us our business when, you've never even played Stephen A. or Skip Bayless or anything like that. But at least with those guys, they were also journalists too. So they were connected to an organization. Yes, they didn't do it from a
yeah, but when you start talking about
level, but
when you start talking about shit that has nothing to do with the game and stuff that you think instead of stuff that and you're starting to talk about big stuff and larger topics on a bigger platform, that's when you can get in trouble. So
absolutely. So, and Denzel is I think he's like 70, 71 years old. Like he's at a stage in his life where, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I've done it all. I've been there. I've built a life for myself. My legacy is set. I'm an Oscar winner. I'm still a big box office movie star. I'm an action star. I've done it all. There is that is his mentality. He's going to say what he's going to say. And I think, the ironic thing was this came on the heels of his first take appearance with Spike Lee to promote in a weird way. It's like, Denzel, you're talking all this smack, but yeah, you were just on a show that had pundits on it, ex-athletes and non-athletes alike, who is, that's the number one pundit show that we have on TV right now, which is First Take. I just thought that was interesting that these comments came in the wake of that appearance, Chaez.
Yeah. Well, no better place to say what he said than on the biggest platform when it comes to sports talk and media. So I had no issue with it whatsoever. Chris, man, the Dodgers go down again in Colorado tonight. We don't have a topic about the Dodgers tonight because I don't even want to get into it like that. We will be talking baseball next week as we're gearing up for the final stretch of these division races. But man, just really quick, can we just move Mookie back to right field? Like, can we just move Mookie back to right? Why are we making this harder than it needs to be? Everybody's been saying the same thing forever, and it's like, what are we trying to get the guy to prove at this point? So,
here's the problem.
Comment on that. What do you make? Just real quick.
No, first of all, I've been saying that for weeks now, and I think Teo's defense has really been a problem. Not even just getting to pop flies, but throwing to the wrong base. That has become a major issue now with these guys. And you combine his lackluster defense with the fact that Conforto also does not have a great glove in left and stinks offensively. The numbers back that up. He's batting below 200. He's got 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, had a decent series against the Padres, but not enough to justify keeping him in the lineup. So to me, this is simple. And Chaez, I'll go one step further. You don't even need if you don't want to move Mookie back into right, put Teoscar back in left, put Alex Call in right. Because Call at least has got
so many different options that you have.
But sure. Well, there's so many once they get healthy. Remember, Tommy Edman is still out right now. Kike Hernandez is still out right now. Those are your super utility guys. Hai-Song Kim, who could also play the outfield a little bit. When you're missing those 3 guys, it's really difficult to make some of those changes unless, like you said, you put Mookie in right, you put Teoscar in left, and you just, either cut Conforto altogether or you bring him up off the bench as a pinch hitter. That is pretty much your only options at this point. But the bad defense, the bad execution, that is a problem right there because you could win or lose games, especially in the playoffs, by lackluster defense and the inability to make plays. And we saw, look what happened to the Yankees against the Dodgers last year in Game 5. How did the Dodgers win that game? A massive assist because bad Yankee defense, bad awareness by the Yankees, a misplayed fly ball, unable to get to the bag at first, throwing to third base and making an errant throw. You know what I mean? Those are things that give a team extra outs. And especially when you give good teams extra outs, what happens? They're going to make you pay for that. They're going to say, thanks for the second and third and fourth opportunities. We'll take it from here.
So it really is just going to come down to this last month of the season. I think the Dodgers have no more than a game or game and a half lead. I don't know.
One game lead.
Yeah. One game lead over the Padres. So
they swept.
They
swept the Padres
this weekend
over the weekend. Yeah. I mean, they swept the Padres, which was great. And then everyone's thinking, okay, they're going to string together some wins into Colorado, a team that all 7 times they swept them twice. Two out of the first 3, and this is, by the way, and it's starting to lead people to question whether or not he should be a starter. Would they be better off, bringing him out of the bullpen? And I think that's something that is going to be a real question, especially considering Clayton Kershaw has been really good. Emmett Sheehan's been really good throwing the baseball. You got Blake Snell back. He's been sharp. Glass now has been solid. Yamamoto's coming off of a really good start. So they've got some things to figure out, and I think they will by the end of September. But, man, this process has been very, very frustrating because this team is capable of better, and they're just not giving it consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always said that this may not be their year early on, but maybe they'll persevere through. We'll see how this last month of the season goes and if they can avoid that 3 seed. But it's looking like they're definitely going to have a wild card series, even if they do win the division. But appreciate you guys. Another great week of the Outlet Forum. Thank you guys for welcoming us back after a couple shows off. Chris, there was something that you wanted to get into. John Wall has announced his retirement. You have a few words for him?
Absolutely. Shout out to John Wall. A solid 13-year career, I think, altogether. Retired, I think, after the 21 or 22 season. He's been out of the league now for a while. It's been a problem, for John Wall after he had that Achilles tear, and then he had another injury, and he went through some hard times, even off the court. But this guy, I remember when he came in the league, Chaez, how explosive John Wall was. That number 1 pick out of Kentucky, played for John Calipari, went to Washington, kind of brought that franchise some new life. And they went to the playoffs. They had a couple of decent runs to the playoffs, got to the second round. Unfortunately, couldn't ever get that team into the finals. But when he was damn good. Fortunately, the injuries derailed him. And then, Washington eventually tried to move off that albatross of a contract. He ended up in Houston. He ended up with the Clippers and just never really could fit in anywhere. But this guy, when he was healthy, man, super, super explosive. And by the way, so 2 more things. 1, shout out to him. He's going to join the Amazon Prime broadcast team this upcoming season, as Amazon's going to have their initial debut covering the NBA. And this right here, that was Christmas.
Nasty.
That was beautiful right there. When he was with the Wizards, man, he was a baller. People forget John Wall. Yeah, he was brilliant. And then also 2, there's only 1 player left from the 2010 NBA draft class. Do you know who that player is now in the league from that draft class?
Klay Thompson?
Little trivia for you. Klay was 2011.
Wait.
He's an ex-Clipper, ex-Pacer, and now currently...
Oh, Paul George.
Yep. So Paul George is it. 15 years, dude. A lot of those guys fizzled out. I mean, that happened. So shout out to John Wall, man. An explosive player, part of that pedigree of explosive point guards that came out in the early 2010s. And he was one of them, along with Derrick Rose. Unfortunately, man, these guys, those injuries.
He says fizzled out. 15
Just
years is a long time to play. But I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we appreciate you guys tapping into the Outlet Forum. We will see you guys next week. We will be talking a lot more football and some fantasy, talking about some drafts and everything like that, since me and your boy Chris play some good NFL fantasy. Chris, you playing fantasy this year?
Yeah. I'm a little bitter with fantasy right now. I'm getting my butt kicked in baseball. May miss the playoffs. But yeah, I actually won the fantasy football league 2 years ago.
Give me one sleep. Give me one.
So I do.
Give me
I
one sleep
have
that
a draft
you're going
coming
to draft this year.
Man, I still got to do some research on that right now. I'll be perfectly honest with you. a good sleeper. I think Cooper Kupp is going to have a bounce back season. I really do. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to have a bounce back season in Seattle. That's just me. That's just me. I think if he's available in the mid to late rounds, that's a guy I would definitely take a chance on. That's me though. That's me.
You.
Cooper Kupp.
That is you.
You know, but like I said, I got to do some research.
That is you. I'll give you guys one name.
Yeah. I would also say Jawan Jennings.
I'll give you one name. Travion Henderson. And on that note, we thank you guys for tuning in to the Outlet Forum. We'll see you guys next week where you'll be tapping in, talking a lot more football and fantasy, and gearing up for EuroBasket and the finals as they come to a close in the next couple weeks. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tapping in.